my channel Courtroom Battles. My name is Dr. Tushar Mandlekar and I have been conducting lectures and seminars on the law points and the celebrated law cases on this particular channel. Dear friends, if you are a student of law or a young lawyer or have some interest in law, please join my channel Courtroom Battles. Today we are going to discuss the most hot topic search on internet 498A, that is matrimonial cruelty in India. Dear friends, we all know that whenever there are differences or fights between the marriage, a woman resorts to Brahmastra, that is 498A of the IPC. This is a particular section by which the husband and the relatives of the husband can be put behind the bars for committing a cruelty on a married woman. Dear friends, marriage is the voluntary union for man and woman. It is a social institution where husband has the responsibility to take care and maintain his wife. He cannot neglect his duties. But on this great institution, a stigma called dowry still exists. Women are ill-treated, harassed, killed, divorced for the simple reason that they did not bring dowry with them. In order to safeguard the interest of the woman, a section called as 498A was introduced in Indian Penal Code in 1983. This deals with the cruelty or matrimonial cruelty in the life of a married woman. Section 498A says that whoever, being the husband or the relative of the husband of a woman, subjects her to cruelty shall be punished with the imprisonment for a term of 3 years or fine or both. For the purpose of this section 498A, cruelty means A. Any willful conduct which is of such a nature and is likely to drive the woman to commit suicide or to cause grave injury or danger to life and limb of the health of the woman. B. Harassment of the woman, where such harassment is with a view to coercing her on any person related to her to meet any unlawful demands for any property or valuable security, or is on account of failure by her or any person related to her to meet such demand. The section was enacted to combat the menace of the dowry deaths. It was introduced in the Code of the Criminal Law, Amendment Act 1983. By the same act, section 113A of the Evidence Act was also amended to raise presumption regarding abatement of the suicide by the married woman. The main object of the section 498A of the IPC is to protect the woman who is being harassed by her husband or the relatives of the husband for dowry. Dear friends, section 498A of IPC will have to be read always along with section 113A of the Evidence Act. The Evidence Act is also amended. Section 113A says presumption as to dowry death. When the question is whether a person has committed the dowry death of a woman and it is shown that soon before her death such woman has been subjected by such person to cruelty or harassment for or in connection with any demand for the dowry, the court shall presume that such person had caused dowry death. Now dear friends, for the explanation of this section of dowry death, it shall be the same meaning which has been defined in section 304B of the Indian Penal Code. If there is a death of the married woman, dear friends, so 498A read with 113A Evidence Act and 304B will have to be concluded. Dear friends, Honorable Supreme Court in case Kayyappelamur versus State of Tamil Nadu 2004 volume 9 SCC page 157 has held that cruelty is a common essential in offences under both the sections, section 304B of the IPC and 498A of the IPC. The two sections are not mutually inclusive, but both are distinct offences, and persons acquitted under section 304B for the offence of the dowry death can be convicted for an offence under section 498A of the IPC. The meaning of the cruelty is given in explanation to section 498A. Section 304B does not contain its meaning, but the meaning of the cruelty or harassment as given in section 498A applies to section 304 also. Under section 498A of IPC, cruelty by itself amounts to an offence, whereas under section 304B, the offence is of dowry death and the death must be occurred during the course of 7 years of the marriage. But no such period is mentioned under section 498A. But limitation usually in such cases is found to be 3 years from the date of the offence. In case of Inder Raj Malik versus Sunita Malik, 1986, Volume 2, Crimes 435, or 1986-92, CRLJ 1510, it was held that the word cruelty is defined in the explanation which inter alia says that the harassment of a woman with a view to coerce her or any related person to meet any unlawful demand for any property or any valuable security is cruelty. Kinds of cruelty which are covered under this section are defined by the courts. 1. Cruelty by vexatious litigation. 2. Cruelty by depriving and wasteful habits. 3. Cruelty by persistent demand. 4. Cruelty by extramarital relationship. 5. Harassment for non-dowry demand. 6. Cruelty by non-acceptance of baby girl. 7. Cruelty by false attacks on chastity. 8. Taking away children. Now, dear friends, if the act is covered under any of this definition or interpretation made by the courts, then it would be said as a cruelty. It is a very wide definition and the courts will have to interpret that after looking into the facts and circumstances of the case. Each matrimonial relationship has a different problem and therefore cruelty cannot be subjected to a particular definition in a particular relationship. The courts will have to come to the conclusion to define the cruelty in one particular relationship after going through the entire evidence. Dear friends, let us see some of the case laws. In the case of Ram Kishan Jain versus State of Madhya Pradesh, Volume 2, 2000, DMC 628, it was held that due to insufficiency of the dowry demands, the woman was administered composed tablets and thereafter she even cut the arteries of both her hands and was died. Sometimes dowry may not be the cause, but the woman for several reasons like her complexion or family status is tortured to the death. In the case of Surajmal Bhatia versus State of West Bengal, Volume 2, 2003, DMC 546, the Honorable Court has held that the deceased was ill-treated and tortured by several days and even not given food several times. This is the treatment that several young brides face when they move out of their parents' home and into the house of the in-laws. It is the duty of the court to prevent any such abuses. The increase of incidents of young brides burning or getting brutal torture at the hands of in-laws for the want of dowry must be dealt with iron hand. In Arun Vyas versus Anita Vyas, 1999, for SCC 690, the Honorable Supreme Court has held that the essence of the offence in section 498A is the cruelty. It is a continuing offence and on each occasion on which the woman was subjected to cruelty, she would have new starting point of the limitation. Dear friends, when can the court should take the cognizance of the offence? No court shall take the cognizance of the offence punishable under section 498A except upon a police report of facts which constitute such an offence under 498A. On a complaint made by the person aggrieved by the offence or by her father, mother, brother, sister or by her father or mother's relative. The court can also take cognizance if the complaint is made by any other person related to her by blood, marriage or by adoption of the court permission. So dear friends, who can file the complaint? The question has been answered by the Honorable Supreme Court. What are the ingredients? Dear friends, for commission of an offence under section 498A, necessary ingredients are: woman must be married. 2. She must be subjected to cruelty or harassment. 3. Such cruelty or harassment must have been shown either by husband of the woman or by the relative of the husband. Suvita versus State, 2009, 6 SCC 757. Dear friends, who is the husband? The Honorable Supreme Court has held in Rima Agrawal versus Anupam, 2004, 3 SCC 199, that the expression husband covers a person who enters into a marital relationship and under the color of such proclaimed status of husband subjects the woman to cruelty as defined in section 498A. Whatever be the legitimacy of the marriage itself for the limited purpose of the section 498A, the marriage needs to be proved. The absence of a definition of the husband to specially include such person who contract marriages ostensibly and cohabit with such woman in the purported exercise of their role and status as a husband is no ground to exclude them from the purview of the 498A. A woman who treats a man as husband and gets into the marriage by any rituals is entitled to file this complaint. What is the period of limitation to file the complaint under section 498A? As per the section 468 of CRPC, a complaint alleging commission of an offence under section 498A can be filed within 3 years of the alleged incident. However, section 473 of the CRPC enables the court to take cognizance of an offence after a period of the limitation if it is satisfied that it is necessary to do in the interest of the justice. The essence of the offence in section 498A is the cruelty. It is continuing offence, and on each occasion on which the woman has been subjected to the cruelty, she would have new starting point of the limitation. This is held by the Supreme Court in Arun Vyas versus Anita Vyas, 1999, 4 SCC 690. Whether second wife is entitled to file the complaint of 498A. Yes, dear friends, a two-judge bench of the Supreme Court has held that even a second wife can file a complaint under section 498A. In this connection, Honorable Justice Arijit Pasai has held that the legislature has even taken care of the children born from the invalid marriages. Section 16 of the Marriage Act deals with legitimacy of children of void and voidable marriages. Can it be said that the legislature, which was conscious of the social stigma attached to the children of such void and voidable marriages, closed its eyes to the plight of the woman who unknowingly or unconsciously of the legal consequences enters into a marital relationship with a man? Rima Agrawal versus Anupam, 2004, 3 SCC 199. The said judgment was again reproduced in Subhash Babu versus State of AP, 2011, 7 SCC 616, wherein the Honorable Supreme Court has held that the section 498A is attracted even in the case of allegation of cruelty to the second wife. Can the woman in the relationship or live-in relationship file the complaint under section 498A? The answer is no. Dear friends, Kerala High Court, after considering various decisions of the Supreme Court, has held that for an offence under section 498A to be committed, the parties must have undergone some sort of ceremonies of the marriage. It is said that the parties did not perform any ceremony and just started living together, and it was held that the woman in the live-in relationship was not entitled to file a complaint under section 498A. Unnikrishnan versus State of Kerala, 2017 SCC, online Kerala 12064. Every harassment is not the cruelty. 2008 15 SCC 582. State of AP versus Madhusudan Rao. Dear friends, the Honorable Supreme Court has held that every harassment does not amount to cruelty within the meaning of the section 498A. For the purpose of section 498A, the harassment simpliciter is not the cruelty, and it is only when the harassment is committed for the purpose of coercing a woman or any other person related to her to meet the unlawful demand of the dowry. In G.V. Siddharamesh versus State of Karnataka, 2010, 3 SCC 152, the Honorable Supreme Court has stated that cruelty can either be mental or physical. It is difficult to have any straitjacket formula to term the cruelty by means of a definition, because cruelty is a relative term. What constitutes cruelty for one person may not constitute cruelty to another person, or At the same time, on the facts and circumstances of the case, the harassment of a woman made by the husband or the relatives may be of a different kind in different manner, but it has to be qualified into the cruelty. Who will be said to be the relative of the husband? Dear friends, we have found that the woman usually comes to police station and gives names of the several relatives of the husband, and most of the time it is also found and observed that even she gives the name of the girlfriend of the husband or any mistress or any other lady who is having a relationship with the husband. Dear friends, the Honorable Supreme Court in Vijeta Gadra versus State in City of Delhi 2010 11 SCC 618 has clearly stated that not every relative of the husband would be covered under the definition, and only blood relatives or relatives by marriage or adoption can be covered. In Suvita versus State 2009 6 SCC 757, it was held that the girlfriend or a concubine being not connected by the blood or marriage is not a relative of the husband, and she cannot be prosecuted under section 498A. For the purpose of conviction under section 498A, as that similar to any other trial, the charges made against the accused must be proved beyond reasonable doubts. This requirement does not stand altered in case of section 498A. Before recording a finding of guilt, the court must be satisfied that the deceased was not hypersensitive, and the evidence will have to be looked into. State of West Bengal versus Urilal Jaiswal 1994 1 SCC 73. Which demand can be said to be a dowry demand? Dear friends, dowry demand is included in the unlawful demand as contemplated under explanation B of the section 498A. However, it did not be the only demand. The Supreme Court in Modisna Kasimbab versus State of Karnataka 2013 4 SCC 551 held that a demand of rupees 10,000 rupees towards repayment of the society loan, though not a dowry demand, was an unlawful demand sufficient to attract section 498A. We have found and observed that many a times the relatives of the husband or the in-laws of the woman, they keep on asking money, and they say that we are going to buy the flat in the name of lady. So demand of any kind, either to buy certain property or to get some car or any gadgets or materialistic happiness in the life, can also be brought into the ambit of the dowry. Section 498A will have to be clubbed together with Evidence Act Section 113A. Pikanin Rawal versus State of Gujarat 2013 10 SCC 48, the Honorable Supreme Court has held that the Evidence Act mandates that when a woman commits suicide within 7 years of her marriage, and it is shown that her husband or any relative of her husband had subjected her to the cruelty on the dowry or as per the definition of 498A, the court may presume that such suicide has been abetted by the husband or the relatives of the husband under section 113A of the Evidence Act. So dear friends, I hope I have answered many of the important questions which are coming to your mind related to the 498A section. If you have liked this video, please like it, subscribe my channel and share this with your friends and relatives.